sung that in the past. Now, according to my phone, that is dead on in tune. Go ahead and make some more room if you want to come in. Everybody squeeze around, pull the bench, go ahead and drag the shop chairs in, just so we have room for everyone. But as you're all hearing, there's pretty obvious problems with equal temperament, notably the thirds. The thirds are exceedingly wide. Okay? So if you flip this sheet over right here, we're going to start playing with this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the E, that is the C to E in the tenor octave that you've got on the back there. Too far. That is a dead-on pure major third, okay, where the ratio of the frequencies is 5 to 4, okay? And look, I just started adding math. Okay, bad Rob, no math. Just listen. Okay. So, let's play around with the notes inside there. Okay, within a major third, there are 5 notes, 4/5. Okay, so C to G. That is a dead-on perfect fifth. Okay. D to G. Dead on, okay? We're going to go to the other side, E to A. Okay, dead on. What happens now? D to A. Okay, that fifth is not in tune. So the first big vocabulary word that you need to learn is a comma. Comma comes from the Greek. It is a small leftover bit. And in grammar, it's a small clause or not quite a full sentence. In music, a comma is the discrepancy between two sets of dead-on pure intervals. So in this case, on the one hand, we have a dead-on pure major third. On the other hand, we have 4, what we're trying to do, dead-on pure major fifths, or sorry, perfect fifths rather. They do not line up. There is this little discrepancy left over called a comma. There are 3 principal commas. You don't need to learn all 3 of them. This is called the syntonic comma. Okay, remember that word, syntonic comma, because we're looking to get to quarter comma syntonic meantone. So, how far out of tune is this fifth? Again, we could be nerds, we could do math, we could talk in terms of cents, percents, etc., or we can use that comma as a unit of measurement. So that fifth is out of tune by 1 syntonic comma. So we're using that discrepancy as a unit of measurement. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to temper that interval. This is the other key vocabulary word. To temper something means you're intentionally making it less than pure. If you temper your arguments, you're not being as rigorous with them. So I'm going to temper this D. So D to G is perfect. D to A sounds lousy. I'm going to move the D. See, D to G is starting to beat. D to A is beating a little bit less. I'm going to keep going. Close enough for today's demonstration. So what I've done is I've tempered that so that both of those fifths are now beating at pretty much the same speed. They're both going at a whoa, 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 whoa. So how far out of tune are those intervals, D to G and D to A? Well, again, we could talk in terms of math. We could go percents and cents and frequencies and blah, blah, blah. Or we could be really simple. They are both out of tune by 1/2 of the syntonic comma. what am I going to do next? Divide it in half again. Okay, so I'm going to take the A that I had there, and I'm going to move it such that D to A, which is currently beating, and A to E, which is dead on, I want to temper the A such that those guys beat it subjectively about the same rate, and the A needs to come up. E slowed down. That's still... Yeah, we'll take it. They're both beating it pretty close to the same rate. All right? And I need to do the other one as well. So I need to move the G, because right now D to G is kind of beating. C to G, I've left it dead on. So I need to move the G. Pretty close, and we're being quick about this for today's demonstration. But now, how far out of tune are those fifths? Well, we started with one syntonic comma, divided it in half, and then divided it in half again. Each of those fifths are out of tune by 1/4 of the syntonic comma, in this case. And now you get to that little clock face that you've got on the back of there, okay? Circle of fifths, you all recognize this. And in between each of those fifths, you see the little -1/4. Okay, that means that each of those fifths is intentionally tempered narrow by 1/4 of the syntonic comma meantone. Now, to finish setting this temperament, I could take the hard way and I could go around the circle of fifths, tuning by fifths, and trying to match those beats, or I could do the easy way. So what's the next third in there? C, G, D, A, E, and next note I need to do would be a B. I could do the hard way, which would be to tune E to B and trying to get subjectively that out of tune quarter comma, or I could tune a dead-on major third from G to B. And 3 of the fifths in there are 1/4 comma, so the last fifth, by definition, it's going to be a quarter comma. So G to B.